And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are into round number 2. They're going to be sticking with Group 1, actually, it looks like, because obviously we got a little out of sync with that error early on, so it does knock us out. We were looking at perhaps going over to Group 4. Honestly, all of these groups are just spinning through pretty much all the names of them. They're all fairly stacked here in North America.
Yeah, I mean, this squad right now, this group is just going to be absolutely insane. Really curious to see how the other groups are turning out, but that's okay. Even if we end up having to go through rounds 2 and 3 here, whenever we get to the 5 series that's going to be coming later, we'll get to see all the best of the best.
Yeah.
We saw a very solid ending. We've been seeing a lot of, like, field endings, a couple of water endings, but we actually did see a nice little warehouse finish. Like, I always love it whenever we see different like endings such as this, where you get like these odd angles, these interesting pushes that have to happen inside of it. But actually, we're at that point now where we can see chat going a little bit ham on Envy there. And remember, everybody's playing with a little bit of nerves here, so going to be really interesting to see how this next round comes through. But with that said, we do have to give a big shout out to one of the squads we did not talk about, which was Hoist the Colors. That is Minty Fresh, Tyler GG, Sanic, and Vamped. They did manage to secure first in that with 390 points inside of that round. Coming in second, naturally, was High Ground / Envious. Coming in third was Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, it was really quite an impressive finish as well. So, Cornchuckers, while they got third place, they didn't get the third by points because of the kill system. Obviously, the way it works, you get 10 points per kill, etc., etc. It does boost your point score. As I mentioned, we'll hopefully try and cover some of the other groups, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, the finals at the end of the day is where we're going to see all the best players play out. This is the Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers for Oakland. The top 4 teams from the finals. Of course, that is the finals, not this. The top 5 teams from this will make it to the finals. So we've got to see who is exactly going to get there. This is round 2. You just saw round 1. Epic finish. We just managed to catch the end of it on the Twitch TV because it is a 15-minute delay. So it's great to get that. A little hyped as we get into this one. And this is a very interesting plane. Cutting straight across Sosnovka. Not a single person going that way right now.
It looks like everybody's just assuming everyone else is going to go south. So therefore, everybody's going north. There we go. Looks like Nova is the one squad that's like, hey, guys, nobody's going this way. We'll go ahead and take military base. So a very odd angle. You can see that the plane is predominantly going right over that little canal that's going between the 2 different islands. It means that a lot of people are going to be forced to pick a solid direction to push through. See, most people are leaning back towards Primorsk or just doing a hard push towards the center near Pachinki. A couple of squads going off to the far eastern side. As you can see, that Rogue living up to their tradition. They're going over towards Milta Power. Got Envy and Paradox. Look like they might be actually contesting that zone, though.
Yeah, Lipovka as well. Looks like they're going to go, so like 2 Lipovka, 1 checking down that way. Here's a question for you. You're talking about Envious, how they go into George Ball South. Now, do they go looking for vehicles, go into George Ball South again, or do they divert?
It's Envious. They're probably going to get vehicles and go to George Ball South anyway. That's just the way they do things. They feel very strong there.
Ooh, look at this artsy camera shot.
It should be noted that Envy is actually playing with a filler, as are some of the North American squads. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But actually, a little bit of a firefight happening along this road where we saw all these drop pads coming in. You can see that Envy is one of the squads that did manage to secure a vehicle, but is actually in a little bit of a fight with Omaha Switch. Now the circle has shown itself, and it's going to be really hard to go up towards Georgia Pool. It's really hard to make this choice if you're Envy. Looks like they might be opting into going to a different strategy. So congratulations, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. You have forced Envy to go into a different direction.
Yeah, Jesse and co were already heading towards the South Farm Complexes area where where we just finished. So I think they're just going to turn around and join the other 2 players. They're probably like, there was that half argument, so like, no, we should go Envy, we should go to George Ball South, and then the circle came and like, oh, all right. So begrudgingly agreeing. But as always, Pachinki, 2 squads in there. Looks like we'll see how that one's going to work out. Apocalypse now and Studipasso. Lockdown just picked himself up a shotgun. A lot of ARs actually picked up already.
Pachinki always tends to be a tease, just based off of the angles that people can leave from. You see a lot of squads drop here. They will kind of look at each other, but it was really hard for a full-on skirmish to happen. Maybe one death may come out of it. And there we go. We're back over here with Jesse Lowell.
You think they've changed direction, but no. No, they're still heading off. Now, are they just going to go Primorsk? Or are they really going to continue on to Georgie, despite the fact we have 4 minutes before they have to head back?
I think that they're not going to go that way. Based off the angle, they're heading down to the southwestern corner. They're not going to go over there. I think that they're going to push away from it. You can see that. Well, I don't
Caden's
know.
down there, yeah.
It's
Frexus
interesting
and
to see how it
Caden, look,
comes
they're
through.
down off towards the bottom corner. Are they going to go Primorsk? Quarry, maybe?
They're
Quarry's
going to Quarry, but
occupied.
Quarry is occupied, yeah. So that could be very interesting. Now then, we are over here at the school. You can see that one squad has managed to get some control over that. There's Painkiller and Trolls that are off in the distance, securing those buildings a little bit further to the south. He's just kind of running around. And this is the squads that we're going by. We're back over here with DNA, who's that squad that we saw in the first game that kind of got caught out fighting Rogue in the water. So they're trying to make a little bit more points this time around. And I don't even know where Envy's going at this point anymore. Are they really? If they go all the way to that road and then just push north, I just kind of give up on them. But we're going to actually come back over here and we're going to see what's going on in Pachinki. And you can see that everybody's just kind of looking back and forth at each other. They seem to be fairly aware of where each squad is at, not the full listing. So actually they've seen one or two people. So they're just kind of posting up on here. Everybody's just going to kind of look at each other, go, hey, this is my side, this is your side. You see this often happen with Pachinki, that the road tends to be like a little bit of a line, and nobody tends to cross it, because just it's very dangerous to walk across that tiny field with as tight of the angles.
Yeah, massively exposed area. Studipasso's in that house. It's a really nice house, actually, that one. It's the triple tier, isn't it? That you can try and peek out. I'm pretty sure he is. I was just trying to get an angle on that. But let's have a look. Rozok. Rozok's actually got a couple. Atlantis. What do you call it, Matrim? Like, I was saying, like, a lot of people call it Watertown or Venice. Rich was saying he started to call it Atlantis more and more these days.
I've heard it called Sunken City whenever I first started playing.
Yeah, there's that.
Kind of
Yeah.
what I picked it up as. I know that there's a lot of names, specifically a lot of meme names around it, specifically just due to flooding. So you can take whatever weather jokes you want and apply those in there. I know that a lot of people apply those out. But look at this. We're actually seeing a push coming from Lockdown Drunken Doodles. They've decided that, no, we really want to get these kills out of this. I think that they might feel that they have the stronger loot selection. So really trying to make sure that nobody can get out of this fight. Popping back over towards Rajak now, seeing a little bit of aggression coming out here, as well as rolling UAZ. That's a terrifying thing. That's a terrifying name. And Insomnia going down here.
Yeah, Lockdown managing to get the knock on Insomnia. Apocalypse now just got a chance. A vision of Beans there actually saw him. Remember, he's got his teammate off to the side. You know, just realized I don't actually have any sound. There we go. Now I'll give you sound, guys. I was just thinking this is really quiet and relaxing. Now I know why. We're not hearing the shots of PUBG, and Buggyman, I think, is the last man standing. Lockdown pushing in. He gets knocked onto Beans. Buggyman now the last man. They're going to have to push in on him.
It's all about how they make this approach. You can tell that they don't know where that last member is. There we go. Multiple downs coming out for this. Pushing on the angle.
They got to get him. He's down the stairs. There we go. There's the kill. So, battle for Pachinki. Very much going in their favor. Didn't lose a single man. Just a single knock on Lockdown.
And again, that is very, very rare that we see that. It's more like what we saw in round one. Squads usually tend to pull apart if they start to feel too pushed. Now we're over here with Rajak. 3 different squads kind of posted up around each other, rolling UAZ really low on life. Given the way that this is kind of positioned, he might not have had a chance to do a lot of looting and may not have the meds to really recover from that. That might be why he's kind of hiding out at the direct time.
More shoot. Suppressed Mini 14. Going to be happy. I'll tell you, it's not a suppressor on the front. It's just a compensator.
Hey, Mini 14 with a compensator is like a laser beam, especially at these ranges that we're seeing right now. But I think it's going to come down to how Cool Breeze and Shepard and Flarg, they end up trying to play this. You can see that Kira's going to retreat back over that hilltop. This could be the breath that a rolling UAZ really needed. So maybe he can potentially get back over towards his friends and get out of here. But he's in a pretty dangerous spot no matter, all depending on how Cool Breeze and Shepard move.
Do you think somewhere in the world there's a Shepard Xbox? I mean, a Shepard PC. You never know.
I'm kind of curious about that. You'd think so.
I mean, it's coming out on console soon, isn't it?
You would think that, well, with consoles coming out, everybody should probably transfer over their names, but Lord knows only what kind of Xbox names we'll get whenever we mix PUBG names with Xbox names. That's just going to be insanity.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Rogue, let's have a look at them. They're over on the right-hand side. You can see they did stun in Lipovka. They are making their way down to Milta Power Way now. I think Milta Power was pretty much hit out. And then the Corn Shuckers are actually down there, which they're heading towards at the moment. They're just sitting on the edge of this circle. I'm thinking, are they going to make their way over to Novo? Back into Rozok. Looks like yet more action. There is another kill over at Rozok, so you just saw that one go down. So finally, I think a rolling UAZ got took out.
Now we're kind of posted up over here, getting a nice serene view. Spectators are catching some really nice angles based off of this. You can see that Dirty Zen playing a little bit forward on this bridge camp, trying to see if anybody's going to be coming over from the military base itself. That's going to be just what's going to be back behind us to the south of this. Off in the distance, you can see Pride XD and his team taking up over next to the pier itself. Now, here's another one that a lot of people have different names for. If it's the pier or Fishtown.
Well, it's literally called Pier. I mean, the name is on the map, isn't it? Very Pier.
But see, I can't call prison. It has to be Crater. I know it says it on the map, but it's always Crater in my heart.
Crater? I can see what you're saying, because it is a big old divot. But
Well,
I mean, the name's right there on the map. It's a prison. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. It doesn't look like a prison. It looks just like the police station.
There we go. We can see that Frex and the rest of Envy opted into not going to Georgia Pool. So, where you heard me saying earlier, I would be done with them if they did. So, they're still fine. Although Check Shooter is still pushing up to Georgia
He's
Pool.
kind of thinking, I can do it, guys. I can do it. They're like, no, just no. Stop it.
And so we actually haven't had a lot of mobilization for people move inside of this circle yet. Everybody's kind of posting up, waiting for these angles to show up, seeing if anybody's really going to push through, talking about how dangerous it is inside
Rolling
of
USA,
this.
he's still alive. I was lied to. I thought he died. He's just Nock Shepherd. That's
think
in
that it was his
the
teammate
battle
that bleeded
in
out.
Nova again. As Rozak, sorry. And that's Aladdin. Aladdin from Rogue has just been knocked by Envy from the Cornshuckers. He has been killed. That is going on south of Milta Power, I believe. That was going on. Minty Fresh, obviously the man we're viewing right now, was the hero of the last round.
Yeah, and they're in a pretty good position, all things said. You can see that making sure to watch on those further spots. Whenever you have this building further back, specifically if there's a bridge camp that's happening in front of you, those squads that are further up can actually get some damage on somebody whenever they drive across. And the squad that's back behind this can usually actually end up being the one picking up the kills.
They're in the boats, look. They're way out in the circle. And that's just not working for them because Cornshuckers are just taking the shots at him. Paradox trying to light him up. They have, actually, I think it was Aladdin was right up on top of them, yeah. So Aladdin obviously went on the scout mission, trying to look for the spot, but I think he just ran straight into the Cornshuckers.
You can see off in the distance, Rogue has secured themselves some boats. Probably a couple of bullets going to be flying out different directions from the Cornshuckers themselves. Just seeing if they can get any damage, maybe a lucky down off of it. There's no harm inside of it. Really curious to see how Rogue is going to play with the circle with those boats. Given the way that it's kind of set up, they're going to have to try to push through here, and there's a lot of people kind of playing along this beach line. So it can be really rough for them, all depending on how they choose to path into this. Or they could just choose to not.
That was Aladdin's crate there, I think they just saw. So they've switched boats. So Aladdin went along the coast in the vehicle, obviously looking for the prime area, and just drove in with his UAZ straight into the whole of the Cornshuckers. And it looked like they'd downed. He must have downed someone as well. It looked like somebody was down there. Godspeed, taking a peek around the corner. It's got a squad. LeBum was down a moment ago. Yeah, I wonder if they just connected, because LeBum was knocked. No body armor at this stage. That's not very healthy, is it?
It's really dangerous, especially if you're thinking about pushing in. But if you don't have to push in and you can just shoot down somebody's shoulder, you don't have to worry about the armor. Nice shots coming out from Godspeed. Going back, taking a lot of damage as he pushes against that wall and barely makes it away with, like, what, 2-3 health?
Well, Godspeed is literally living up to his name. I mean, he's going to need it right now, because this is going to be tricky for them. He's only got bandages as well. He's in a real horrible situation.
Well, this is the downside. You know that it's jokingly called trash looting, and you can see why it's called trash looting. If you don't secure those kills fast enough, you end up in a little bit of an interesting spot, awkward spot, and we can see that Kaisuko is kind of pushing off to the side over there, trying to find some angle on it. Circle is up and active, and it looks like neither one of these squads are inside of it, so we might see a little bit of aggression coming out as Godspeed's going for a grenade.
Is he going to try and land it? And Scarell spraying down. LeBum. I don't think LeBum's got any medics, you know. He's been on low for so long at the back there. Oh, look, there's another player around the side here. Master Rook. Is that a different team? Master Rook's just down. Nice. He's going to push in. That's an easy kill right there. You're not going to land an easier shot than that. He just come around the corner and just stood in the middle of it, taking some painkillers.
All around, just nice shots coming out from Godspeed, securing multiple downs inside of there. Really playing it up for his team, and you can see that they all instantly run over to those loot crates like, please, please give me something to work with.
Sorry guys, I was just typing, I was just getting, I want them to turn on the UI mod. You know the options for the inventory, that's it, inventory and thing. Yeah, body armor and stuff. I just realized we didn't have that on us. As soon as we saw he had no armor, I was like, okay, we don't see anything, what guns they have, etc. So hopefully they'll get that turned on in the next round. Nova, though, just took a bit of damage there. Swisher just took down Trojan, I think. Remember, they've been in military base the entirety of the time, so they've been in a great situation on this island. I know a lot of players, pros, non-pros, just everyone hates the finish on military base.
Well, it's just such... You end up with these weird situations where you have to figure out how you're going to cross over one. If you're going to end up using the boats, how you're going to push through. And we have a little bit of a skirmish here. Who cares about talking about military base, whatever, you have to even make it there first. So, a big part of this, though, as you can see, talking about how do you get to the island. Right now, it's a whole bunch of people that are trying to swim their way over there. A lot of boats look like they haven't been able to be found. A little bit of a skirmish. You can see Drunken Noodle still taking a lot of damage. It looks like he might just run straight into a bridge camp. Nope, he backs out of his vehicle, so he should be fine.
Yeah, the bridge camp. I mean, we saw it in Europe. I don't think we saw a single successful bridge camp. I don't think, and everybody just avoided it. They either swam, boat, just basically go around it because it's just not worth it. It's really a sign of desperation if you've got to go over the bridge.
It's if you have nothing else to do. It's like, well, we don't really have to move, so yeah, I guess we can stay here and maybe we'll get something out of it. That tends to be about the only time you ever see it. Or unless, like, everybody, you see a whole bunch of people push over and they think that it's going to be a military base circle, whatever, it actually ends up being on the north side instead. Then when somebody's in transition, they can suddenly go, oh, wait, and then they'll hold up there. But that's about the only times you see it being truly successful. Well, at this level of play. Naturally, in matchmaking, it's successful all the time.
Yeah. So all the time. Here's Vance and Sonatic. These guys obviously won game number 1. Minty Fresh. What was their name again? Sorry.
Minty Fresh and their squad. I believe it was Raise the Banners. Let's see.
Raise the Banners. I think you say. Raise the Colors. Raise the Colors. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, Hoist the Colors. Hoist the Colors. There you go. Get the correct name of them. So and this is the great part of this, right? We do get to see these teams that haven't had limelight success, not obviously been sponsored, etc. So it's great to see some of these teams like that taking on teams like Envious, who just obviously got picked up. Used to be High Ground.
Yeah, it's all about these new... We're still in this grassroots stage right now where there's so many good players trying to find their way onto teams. We have teams that are just now getting signed. We're still at the very early stages of PUBG as an esport. It's a really exciting time, given the amount of players, the amount of interest that's happening inside of it. Really looking forward to seeing how long these players can manage to sustain and who gets to be picked up. We might be seeing the faker of PUBG inside of these rounds right now and not know it yet.
The faker of PUBG. I mean, if we ever saw that, I think everyone would just accuse him of cheating. That's just how it works out, right? In FPS, it's like if someone gets that good, they're clearly cheating. I
think that's the de facto in first-person shooters. Whenever somebody's just good, it's just like, oh, somebody's got to start checking this person out. So we're seeing a little bit of a fight that's happening over near the beach, and nice shots coming on a lockdown. Berg hitting that from quite a distance away. I think about a good 200-300 meters. Actually, further than that from the angle on it. So Berg's just picking up everybody as they're positioning out and over, and that was just a very solid shot coming out with the red dot of all things.
Yeah, the red dot from that range, and he seemed like a railgun when he swung straight over to the rock and knew someone was still sat there peeking. Shepard PC, he's got himself back up, took down Lockdown there with a knock. Minty Fresh taking shots, that is on to DM Master and Vexel and Co. that are making their way up. This is almost a replay of what was going on, obviously, when they were in the farm in the previous round. So, sitting around the crate, actually. I don't know what's in that crate. Maybe they're going to pick something nice up, a Minty Fresh off in the buggy.
Now that we know that it's probably going to be a military base circle, we have to see where everybody's going to choose to position at. Nobody's really opting into the far southern side of it. Nobody's really opting into center, and nobody's going for military base. So it's kind of awkward, interesting to see how everybody is kind of positioned where they're kind of separated out, but like no quality real estate has been claimed as of yet.
Inferno's sitting with an AWM at Lighthouse, I think I just saw. That looked like Lighthouse. He was sat with it. Okay, circle's about to change. Let's have a look. Where's it going to be? Bang in the center. Oh, it's the bridge. Oh, holy moly. Everybody in the water, boys. Everybody in the water.
I know everybody was wanting to see a whole bunch of mermaid play. Well, we're about to get it. A lot of these guys are going to have to push in. We see a bridge camp already in place. This is where it actually does become quite strong, specifically around this lighthouse, because from that lighthouse angle, you can actually see both sides of the ground and naturally the bridge itself. Maybe take some pot shots at anybody that's inside the water. All around, really nice positioning coming out right now from Inferno.
So we saw Space Station earlier on. There's Nova. Nova had been on the island the whole time, and now we're going to have to start making moves. Dirty Zim taking shots across the bridge, and they're in the prime position, really. They have themselves a nice bridge cover.
And you can see Drunken Noodles just doing the swim across. Like, you can tell he was going for the swim out. Oh, and he's instantly going to go back underwater.
Yeah.
He was going to swim across, and now he's like, well, I guess I just live under the bridge now.
Yeah, no, that is legit. Actually, we're gonna get a lot of people probably sitting in and around the bridge legs, etc., etc. Blake Cake just got took down. Apocalypse now has been avenged already, so he goes down. Riker finishes him off. There's a knock, actually. That's the Blake Cake. Yeah, there he is. And Fignaldo and Rake are going to move in and finish the job, I think, on Blake Cake.
Really like their positioning. They're set up 2 different points. You can see that one is kind of pushing down, getting control of these weaker buildings that you have down here, and the other one's actually posted back up along the hillside. So nice firing angles, but look off to their right. You can see a D-Master, Huen. They're kind of positioning up as well. So Trolls is trying to go for a reposition off of this. They could end up being a little bit too separated out if they continue pushing forward. So lots of communication has to come out at this point. Otherwise, we could see the squad in a lot of trouble.
So set to destroy down there. Where's the rest of the team? See Godspeed's crew. There's a guys over at Ferry Pier just to the left, or I wouldn't say Ferry Pier. They're very much on the edge of the Ferry Pier. Big beachhead that they have to cross over or traverse if the circle were to go against them, which is entirely possible with it being on this bridge right now. A lot of transitions going to have to happen. A lot of rotations. You can see it's starting to get very clustered in the hills of Sosnovka.
Yeah, everybody thought it was going to be a military circle, so they pushed over. Elusive actually getting knocked down from Nerf Me, please. So he's gotten dipped real low. I don't think that anybody's going to be able to get over there in time to res him. You can see that trying to go for the run. Did we actually see him get over there in time?
Oh, look at this. Envy's thinking, is he going to get revenge? Oh, Envy just got tagged up pretty heavily. That was across. It's Nova and Envy and Cornchuckers that are fighting each other on the hill, and actually just behind them is Hoist the Colours. So they're just sitting. Look at them. Look, they're on the rocks just below them. They're happy to watch this play out.
And they can just jump up the very last second if they want to take advantage of this. They're using it as a distraction. I love it whenever teams do this. They're aware that something's happening around them, trying to figure out exactly where the angles are coming from. You can see that they keep trying to look towards the bullets, and they're like, okay, we know that one's up here. No line of sight as of yet. Naturally, we can see the boxes moving back and forth. Well, he thinks that he saw somebody, so taking a couple of shots, but I don't know if he kind of saw him through the hillside. But really interesting. See how they push up through here. Actually, this is going to be a push back from Cornshuckers. They might be pulling back over to where Minty Fresh is at.
Yeah, I think they just realised there are people behind him. And yeah, they're doing a hop. There goes a grenade. Where's he going to go? It's a molly, just off the side. Maybe a bit of a sighter to see where he can bounce it. It's Envy, so they've got to be careful. Envy taking this peek just over the ridge there. Minty Fresh trying to take his head off, and that's the danger. When you are peeking over a ridge, the only thing showing is your head. So here comes the circle. Okay, is it going to be mean? Is it going to be nasty? We're going to go Sosnovka side. Oh, it's right on the bridge.
It seems like this is just going to be a bridge game. It's where everybody's going to be living at. So all of these squads that are still on military base are going to have to fight for a little bit of a foothold. There have been a couple of squads kind of posting up around the bridge itself, as we saw on the other side, trying to find some level of dominance on the military base side. That's going to be a key factor for these later circles. Minute and 30 seconds, you can see a lot of people hopping in the vehicles going, okay, how do we play this? You can see not a lot of squads really leaning into water, except for those ones that are in the northeastern corner. They're just having to make a swim across, and that's going to be a hard push for them.
People asking why the game sounds are so quiet. That's possibly something on my end with the stream. We'll find out exactly how it's going to work out. But we are obviously watching a nice directed stream as opposed to my god-awful camera work. So it's like a trade-off, right? You know, you get to have decent camera work, and it's going to be a bit quieter until I fix it next round. Oh, look, we've got the bug. We've got the spec bug where you follow someone underwater. Yeah, switch away pretty quick. Producer's like, what the hell is that noise?
D-Master is pushing up right next to Trolls and Fig. Squads are kind of vying for some level of control of this building complex right now. See, Smurf is playing in the trees. Wynn's already been down, doing a slow crawl back over towards Smurf. Should be able to make it. He should have plenty of time to make it over there. The other side of this, there's a little bit of a skirmish that is happening. As you can see, multiple skulls and crossbones are on the mini-map there. So people were pushing up towards Ferg and Cool Breeze.
Oh, look at this horrible cross against the beach. We knew it had to come. These are the guys coming out of Ferry Pier. They're trying to get across. There's D-Master and Vexel making their way through. Look how complex it is. 53 alive coming into the singular beach, the western beach of Sosnovka. This is going to get horrible.
Well, to be fair, about 20 of those are in the water right now, trying to figure out how they're going to make landfall. So 30 people probably up and active trying to get some control of the outer lands. Now, we did talk about this earlier. Whenever you do choose into go in the water, you're kind of ceding all control. So all these squads that are fighting on the land get complete and utter dominance of what's happening inside of these rounds. So if they can actually kill off each other and get control over these beachheads, these guys in the water just can't even stand a chance to get out of it.
Okay, Drunken Noodle deep underwater. Looking at Space Station. Space Station pushing in on Fignaldo's team and Painkiller. That is set to destroy, isn't it, I believe? They're fighting just off to the right there. Minty Fresh is just down. Tifu from Rogue. Rogue, I think, just got finished off. Solitech is still alive, so he's the only member of Rogue, I think, left standing now.
He is back behind them. You can see that they are making their way towards the circle. It is coming down, but a lot of shots coming out from Zampa, securing a down onto that. So Sanik's still trying to push through. Soltech is still alive off to the side, and he does see Sanik. Does get the down on it, but then the circle manages to do that last little bit of damage. You can see that Pride manages to pick up the kill. So Sanik, Minty Fresh trying to do their crawl in. Got It Swisher pushing up next to the bridge itself. New circle is up and active, and it is around the military base island on the bridge side. So a lot of these guys that were posting up on the northern side of the bridge are going to have to figure out a way to make their way down south. Nobody really wants to push across the bridge itself. With a minute and 30 seconds, you don't want to jump in the water. You don't want to surrender the control that you have. But it's not like you have a lot of options at this point. You don't want to just grab a vehicle and run across. But you can see that these buildings right now we're set to destroy or posted up at are becoming very hotly contested, as Nova is on one side of it, and you can see that D-Master and the rest of his team on another one. Silly Fool has actually managed to make landfall off on the beach just to the north of them.
Yeah, the four of them just creeping up there. Look at this with the scope. He's got D-Master completely lined up. Stand still, you are going to get knocked. And there goes his head with the Kar 98. He peeks across to the left and almost had a glimpse on Smurf there. So just coming in with the boat, using that as cover! And just like that, he has a headshot of his own on the Scar L, and he's bleeding pretty heavy.
You can see multiple teams trying to figure out how they're going to make their way across this. Shepard trying to get some shots in on this. And we see somebody on the with a ghillie suit on the bridge. That's like the biggest waste ever.
Yeah, I mean, really. I was just about to say, like, is this the best position or the worst position being on the bridge camp right now? I mean, you're not on the bridge camp, you're just on the bridge hiding. Shepard's decided, you know what, I'm going to go under the bridge. I've had enough of this. It's a little too dangerous up there. Let's see what we can get in the water and look at the X-ray. It's just so many people in there right now. But there's also a lot of people. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 squads all about to be in this complex. A lot of smokes off to the right. That is the complex. The guys on the beach making their way up the beachhead and trying to get in there. Meanwhile, that's about 20 people in the water.
Right, everybody is doing the push up towards this. Rykar actually holding some of the other buildings out. You can see that D-Master has gotten shot down now. Everybody's just trying to figure out some type of place to play inside of here. 43 still up and alive. Several people have actually been knocked down, though. You can see that trying to get that res off onto D-Master. And Nova has actually made a strong landfall. And good lord, look at all those people in the water.
You know, something that we haven't seen, I was about to say, is Envious, and they're in the water. That's why we haven't seen them. Vexel just keeping his team going here. Oh, look at this. It's like a boat marathon. Wanderer just ran over someone. Vorix got run over with a boat. Is he really just going to keep trying to run around with the boat and try and run people down?
To be honest, it's really strong right now. You can actually take shots out of it.
Nobody's really okay, they're up. They've all got to get out of the water. Get out of the water. There's a shark. Get out.
That's what they need to add into this game, that if you jump into the water and have any damage, you're bleeding and then sharks just come chasing
Jaws comes along, yeah, and takes them out. So everybody now, look at this. Nova actually, Nova have the perfect position. I think they're really in the only complex that's actually in the circle now.
Yeah, I think it's all going to come down to how they try to play around this. You can see that several squads trying to make landfall here. We can see Sniper, Mobius, they do have some level of control into it, but shots coming out from back behind them, as you can see. Lots of damage coming out from Paradox.
Okay.
Now, Paradox.
I'm gonna
that Swisher actually got the down as well.
I'm going to throw it out there. This is a game where someone will qualify in a big way. Like, if Nova, they're in the prime position because they have clear shots at this beach. They could get themselves a lot of kills. And I'm talking like 20 plus kills because everybody has to creep out of there. Until Zampa knocks Locknob down and kills him. Have they just sieged his house?
No, they're just holding on the outside of it. They're on this upper area, firing down into the windows. So nice control coming out from Zampa there. They're actually back up. You can see now Zampa's pushing down, runs right into several members, though, so he gets down. Envy's going to try to figure out how they're going to play around this, trying to get the res back off. They want to maintain 4-man strong, but Elusive is taking a lot of damage in this push.
The Corn Trucker's pushing in on Painkiller. Painkiller, do they realize where he is? I'm not too sure he's looking at him. He's just sat in that complex. Elusive going to get lit up. Nova taking shots on the Corn Truckers. They're going to try and get themselves behind this wall. Elusive one should be fine. As the circle moves in, he's going to get healed up just in time as they move on the circle. Look at it. 37 people. Look at that beach. Go to the beach with the camera. Right now, it is a massacre.
Everybody's just trying to get out and make some type of landfall. Godspeed is just running straight up towards D-Master and Smurf. See, vehicles are now coming in very last second. 33 alive. Let's see how far down
Oh my
this
god!
goes. Everybody is just trying to push onto land. There's just nothing left for it. A couple of swimmers are trying to fight what they can. You can see it's just squad after squad after squad getting taken down. We are now down to 18 people alive. In that 20 seconds, we saw about 15 people die.
Wow. Wow. We knew it had to happen. And that's the, I mean, it almost was a shark, but look at the final circle. It's actually that little tree line. There's a team in there. There's until like they're just off to the side. It's going to be a right beachhead. 16 alive still. Everybody in these buildings now has to move. They've got 59 seconds to consider where exactly is the best route because there's players in every little nook and cranny.
And they're all separated out. You can see that Nova is actually pretty condensed. But past that, it's a whole bunch of scattered players. Different players from different squads kind of post up in different areas. You can see Painkiller is over there next to Elusive, but Envy is over here next to Fignaldo and Trolls. Godspeed's off by himself. D-Master and Smurf kind of in a decent position. But look at this. We see Cool Breeze off on the distance. He does have a nice line of sight back over towards the circle itself and some level of control over the area. So everybody's going to have to run in towards him. Could we actually see somebody that managed to make landfall, survive through that mess, have a nice chance on this? He's going to have to make sure that he hits some solid shots on everybody pushing out, though. So, Paradox and Envy of Corn Shuckers have Elusive just off to the left-hand side. Are they going to try and breach this building before they go? Trulis is going to come out. Oh, that got a bit messy, but he will go down eventually. Painkiller's going to come over the side. He's just peeking over. Doesn't actually see him. He gets support as Elusive pops around. Elusive gets dropped. This is where it all goes crazy. This is where we need multiple spectators because things like that can happen. Godspeed's going to go down in the play zone. Painkiller's going to go out in the play zone. Fignaldo's going to go out in the play zone unless he can heal himself up. He's working on it right now. Sniper's getting pushed out. Nova worked their way through. Swisher is still alive. We're down to the last 4, and Nova are looking like they have prime position. Cool Breeze on the coast. Oh, Nova! No, he's not going to get healed! Oh, Swisher! He died as he thought he was inside the circle. He didn't realize where it was, trying to go for the heal off on it. So now this is turned into a 1v1.
And Cool Breeze actually has brilliant position because he has the ledge. He has the prime example with the beachhead. And it's J all day versus Cool Breeze, who is, I don't know what he's doing. Looks like he's healing for 15 seconds, so he's still healing all day. But he sees Swisher. So he knows, oh, shots across the J, shooting all the bit. He didn't know which bush he was coming from. He shot the bush and instead J all day actually using Swisher as a draw there. So Nova come out on top.
A lot of solid performances on it. You talked about how whoever manages to net a lot of those kills down there on that beachfront should be able to get a lot of points. You didn't see that right before we jumped out. Cool Breeze netting himself 7 kills out of that push, making the landfall there. Nice solid 70 points and a second place pulled off by them.
So, we are going to be moving on to the final round. Whether we're sticking with Group 1, I don't know, Matrim. We've had some very interesting rounds. That one, I don't think that's going to be a favourite of the players.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say it truly, yeah. That beachhead battle, oh good lord.
It's going to be interesting to see. We've heard that there's going to be a lot of changes in what's going to be happening with water. Really excited to see how that's going to be impacted inside of here. So really looking forward to those changes, see how it'll really change the meta, because that seems to be the de facto right now, is whenever you just don't know what to do, if there's water, just find it. And it'll be really nice to like make that be some type of negative option, at least being able to fire in. Naturally, you can't throw in their grenades or something. Even if they just make it to where you can fire a crossbow into the water, I'd be so happy.
Well, guys, we'll be back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. This is all going a little too smoothly for us, I feel, but we are going into round 3 of, or game 3, I should say, of round 2, and then we'll see exactly who is going to be in the final. It is exciting stuff. Be with you in a moment.